What is up, everybody? It's Justin with S&K Greenhouse. I'm reporting you from my backyard garden today. We've got an exciting episode. I'm going to be harvesting and showing you a lot of my vegetables. I've been gone on family vacation. When I came back, I noticed there was a ton of stuff to be harvested. So this video is going to be all about just harvesting vegetables. So come on with me. Let's go ahead and start right here in this bed. This is mostly big beef tomatoes. Big beef is a beef steak tomato. What I love about these and why I grow so many of them is that they are, well, the plants themselves are super disease resistant. They're abundant, as you can see. The tomatoes can grow pretty large, but most of them, even in spite of its name, grow a medium size. Okay, this one looks pretty ripe. Let's go ahead and give one of these a try. I'm gonna wipe it off here. Brought my kitchen knife. I figured we might be getting into this today. This is how I cut my tomatoes right here. I core it out. I don't want to eat that nastiness. Cut this thing here. Let's give it a try. Right off the bat, what I love about this tomato, has a good bit of acid in it, so it's got that old-timey flavor to it. I usually slice these up fresh, eat them with dinner, or put them on 2 slices of bread with some Duke's mayonnaise and some bacon, making a little BLT action. This is a great tomato to grow. Highly recommend. As you can see, I got plenty more big beef to harvest. I'm gonna go ahead and finish picking these, and then we'll move on to the next tomato. All right, I just picked an entire bushel of big beef tomatoes. If you're undecided about what tomato to grow next year, this is the one you want to grow. Look how abundant it is. And this is not the first harvest. This is, my 3rd or 4th picking this year. This vine on the end here is actually a celebrity. I mentioned I love celebrities in some of my other videos because just to switch it up, they are determinate. So they're not going to grow 6, 7, 8, 10 feet like, some of these other big beef varieties. You see how tall this one's getting. So this would have been a great choice if I was growing them in a pot. And of course, you still get lots of tomatoes on determinate varieties. So don't be scared to grow them. Celebrity is an awesome determinate tomato type. It's fairly disease resistant. It's very abundant, and the flavor profiles of these tomatoes are absolutely great as well. And up next, we have my favorite heirloom variety. This is Brandy Wine. Check it out. It's not the prettiest tomato, but look at the color on this. It's more of a pink color. Yeah, it's got some abrasions, some bruises, but this tomato, let me tell you, when I'm growing tomatoes, and I plant them in the first of spring, I relish the moment that these get ripe. The tomato flavor on these are unmatched. Let me go ahead and cut one in. These tomatoes do get pretty large, and look at this core. If you have a big core in a tomato, that's not a bad thing. That's the support. So if you have a big core, that just means it's a big tomato, and you don't want it disconnecting from the vine, so naturally these produce a big core. Look at the inside of that thing. I'll have to get that piece later. I don't know why I just threw it on the ground. Look at this thing. Let's go ahead and try it. I can't take it. Woo-hoo! Brandy Wine is where it's at. Okay. A couple things about this tomato. It's not going to produce as much as some of your hybrids, and it's not going to be as disease resistant. So what you grow these for is just the pure taste and flavor. This is truly an old-timey tomato. It's an heirloom, so you can save your seeds and grow it every year. Up next, we got Super Sweet 100. Oh my gosh, if you want to grow a cherry tomato, this is the one to grow. Look how abundant these are. This is where it gets its name, Super Sweet 100. Except for if you grow this out to maturity, you can easily pick 500 tomatoes off one plant. Of course, I gotta try one of these, so let me go ahead and get a nice ripe one here. I love the size of these. Great salad tomato or for fresh eating. Candy. The sugar content in these is very high. Super Sweet 100, its parent is Sweet 100, was super popular in the 70s, but it did have some disease problems. So they made Super Sweet 100. So it is a hybrid, but they've weeded out all the disease problems, stuff with nematodes. They've weeded out all that. And what you have is just an awesome cherry tomato. You guys gotta check out this straight neck squash. Come over here. This vine, or bush if you wanna call it, has went absolutely bonkers. I didn't stay on top of staking this one. Again, I went on vacation, I came back, this thing went absolutely crazy. And just come in here and look how many squash this thing is producing. Look, right here, I got a little 2-for-1 deal. Nothing wrong with that. I can cut that up and just fry it, do whatever with it. But look how many is on this vine. Absolutely insane. Yes, you do want to pick your squash when they're young. If you wait till they get really big, you're going to end up with a lot of seeds. The flavor is not as good. So don't be scared to even pull your squash when they're that big. Nothing wrong with that. Again, I was gone and some of these are already too big, but none that I'm seeing, it's not too late. I'm definitely going to enjoy these. All that just came off of one plant. Crazy. And out beside this very big mature plant are these 4 small ones. I love to plant my squash and zucchini in succession, so I'll plant these later, you know, for a later harvest, obviously. And we got a zucchini here. This is Black Beauty. It's got a very dark green outer skin. The inside, the flesh, is very creamy and white. This is a great zucchini. What I love about it is the plant itself gets huge and it just puts off tons of these. You don't need very many. Got another straight neck over here. These are obviously not as big and mature plants, but you know, I'm still pulling them off these little plants. Love squash and zucchini, and no, I'm not going to eat this one. All right, let's move on over here. I'm going to show you one of the things I'm most excited about. I got some Athena cantaloupes that are getting ready. Come over here. Look at this. When cantaloupes or muskmelons, if you will, are getting ready to harvest, they're getting ripe, you can easily disconnect them from the vine. So if I give this a little tug, you can see it came off easy. That's kind of how you know when they're ripe. Also, if you'll notice that the outer layer has kind of a yellowish orange tint. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me get it down in the sun. This is how you know they're ripe. You can actually smell the aroma coming off of this. You cannot beat fresh cantaloupe coming out of the garden. And you know we got to try this one. Let's go ahead and cut into this thing here. Ooh, all my excitement, I cut this thing a little wild there. Check it out. Come in close and let's look at this. You can see the flesh is very firm. It's got a nice little orange glow to it. What I love about Athenas, they're widely grown in the US because they come in really, really fast. So you don't have to wait that long. They produce a lot. Again, we call these cantaloupes in the South. Cantaloupes are actually pretty warty and mostly grown in Europe. What we have here in the eastern United States is muskmelons. And let's go ahead and dig into this and try it. This is not how you cut a cantaloupe, folks. I can do a video on that if you want. I just want to try it here for the camera. That might be the best one I've ever had. I'm not even joking. This thing is sweet, it's juicy. Oh my gosh, I can see this thing served up with breakfast. A little bit of biscuits and gravy. Holler at me. Look over here, as you can see, I've got another one that's almost ripe. And look, I'm pulling this off in raised beds. All I've got is maybe 8 or 10 plants here planted. I let the vines go out onto the ground and just mostly grow out there. Sometimes they end up in the raised bed, that's okay. But what I got to show you next, ready for this? I'm gonna need a bigger knife for, because I think we got some watermelons to harvest. Come over here. Over here is my little watermelon patch, if you will. I've got some seedless watermelons grown, and the key to seedless watermelons is you have to grow them with a pollinator. So I have maybe 6 or 8 seedless watermelons planted, and then I have 2 sugar baby varieties, and that's a great pollinator for them. Come on in, I'll show you when you know you have a ripe watermelon. try not to break my vines here. But if you can come in, Alex, and just check this out. All right, see the stem, the main stem here? It goes up, and then off this shoot here, we have what's called a curlicue. And if this curlicue has turned brown all the way through, you know you have a ripe watermelon. If this was still green or half green, I would leave it on the vine. But since it's not, let's cut this paper. Let's cut this baby open. I am so excited to cut into this thing. It's huge. I don't know how many pounds that is, but it's a big boy. This is like what you'd see at your local grocery store. Come on over here, let's cut into this thing. Again, this is a seedless watermelon, I hope. If we cut into this thing and there's seeds in it, I'm gonna be a little confused. But hopefully what we have is no seeds. Oh, would you look at that? Come in here. Oh my goodness, look at that. No seeds. The flesh is nice and pink, a little more red than pink, I would say. So juicy. I mean, it's like, whoo, you can just tell. All right, let's give it a try. I'm not, Alex, I'm not even joking. All right, give me that camera. Let's try that.
That is amazing.
Fresh from the garden. Is it not the juiciest, tastiest watermelon you've ever had?
I need a minute. That is, I don't think I'll ever buy store-bought watermelon again.
Let me give you one tip about growing watermelons. They're a lot sweeter if prior to harvesting them, you kind of back off the water. Not completely, but you just want to let them stay more on the dry side. It really intensifies the sugar. It doesn't get watered down, and you just have a really sweet tasting watermelon like this. I'm sorry, y'all. I got it. How many of y'all want to see a watermelon growing video about how to achieve some seedless watermelons like this? I would love to do it for you because I want all of y'all at home to be able to grow these. This is absolutely amazing. All right, let's walk on over to this bed on the end here. There's some things in here that I'm not so proud of. I'm just gonna be completely transparent with you. While I was gone, my cucumber vines took a hit. I came back, they like exploded with blight. So I'm gonna harvest some and then we'll pull the vines right out. You never wanna leave a bunch of diseased vines in your raised beds. It's just gonna cause more problems and more susceptible to disease later on. But there are some things in here that I am proud about. This back vine has gotten, this is super steak, beefsteak tomato. And if you're just trying to grow a tomato to like impress your friends, like to impress your neighbors, like, wow, look at this huge tomato I grown. Super steak will do that. I'm not a huge fan of them because they don't produce a lot, but the tomatoes do taste just fine. I do have some pickle bushel cucumbers that are ready, and I think I see a white one back here. These are really great cucumbers. I like to grow pickling types of cucumbers because they're super abundant. You know, they make so many, and the slicing ones tend to get so large, I can't eat them all. I just usually end up giving them away. I'm gonna peel this a little bit. Well, you know what? Here's the thing about a pickle bushel. You can eat that peeling and it's actually pretty good. Typically I will peel them though. Amazing. It's not bitter. It has a very great flavor. Would be great on a salad with some salt and pepper. This one here, if you're wondering what variety this is White Wonder. I like to grow some white ones too, just for added color. The skin on these is also very thin. You can eat them just fresh like this. Amazing. Cucumbers are so worth it to grow. They put on very quickly, and you just can't beat them for the space they take up in your raised beds. All right, how many of you guys watched my pepper video? As you can see, these things have went crazy. Like usually bell peppers plants are only going to grow like a couple feet tall. These are like 3 going on 4 foot tall. And the ones I've got back here are my favorite bell pepper of all time. It's called Giant Marconi. Not to be confused with Giant Macaroni, but Giant Marconi. As you can see, they start out green, but as they ripen, the peppers turn red. Let me go ahead and pull this one out here. And the more red they are, the sweeter they actually taste. These are so sweet, you can actually eat them raw. So of course, you know I'm going to demonstrate for you. Let me just cut this thing open to show it to you. This is a beautiful pepper. Down at the nursery, Alex, tell them how many people are like waiting in line every year to get this pepper.
Many people.
Like we probably grow more of these than any other bell pepper. It's an Italian bell pepper. As you can see, it grows very elongated. It stays kind of skinny. It has a very, you know what? Watch this. Very sweet and smoky flavor. Let's hear the crunch on this one. I'm not even kidding. I could eat this whole thing raw. And I'm not even the biggest bell pepper fan. This is truly one to grow. It's abundant. And when you put this on the grill, it just, the smoky flavor really comes out. All right, we also got another bell pepper. It's called Red Beauty. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Let me give you a quick little tip. When you're growing in raised beds or your garden, always save the tags and just put them right down here, because even if you think you remember, sometimes you might not. But anyway, back to Red Beauty. This is a blocky bell pepper. This is like what you'd see in a grocery store. It's almost like rectangular. It's so blocky. It might grow maybe 3 or 4 inches in length. And this thing is also sweet, juicy. Throw it on the grill. Grew some yellow ones to go along with it. This one's almost ready. Probably should have grabbed my pruners. But as you can see, the color on this one's going to be yellow and red. And I just love to grow like a variety of bell peppers, green, yellows, reds. It makes for a beautiful dish when you're cooking. All right, last thing I'm going to show you is the hot peppers I'm harvesting. You remember my video I wintered over this pepper? Look how huge it's gotten. This is Trinidad Scorpion. As you can see, there's more peppers than I can hardly pick. I mean, these things are prolific, especially when you have a 2-year-old plant. That's what makes them worth overwintering, and you get them a lot sooner. I've been picking these for like a couple months now. No, I'm not gonna do that. These are way too hot for the camera to be doing live. I probably wouldn't be able to finish the video if I ate this whole thing. Check out this over here. This is a cayenne pepper plant. These are the long, thin cayennes, hanging full. There's probably close to 100 peppers. I will try this one for you, even though it's going to be very hot, but I'm going to do it. I've kind of built up my tolerance to hot peppers, so this isn't too bad for me. Okay, it is pretty bad, but anyway, behind me here is a Carolina Reaper. I actually had to repot it. When I overwintered it, and I showed you in the video, it was in a 15-gallon. This is now in a 20-gallon because it outgrew the container, started to lean over, so I had to straighten it up with a stake there. And as you can see, just absolutely hanging full. In a moment, I will pick all these. We'll fast forward, and I'll show you just how many I get off one plant. You shouldn't be doing this without gloves. I'm being very careful not to penetrate the inside. The outer layer is not going to be hot, but if I had like an open cut on my hand or something, or I was to break into this on accident when I was pulling it and it got into my skin or bloodstream, this would burn incredibly bad. So I'm being very, very careful. Probably should be wearing gloves. Okay, we finally got our harvest. This took a little while. Alex, thank you for helping me. I did not realize how much was left to be picked. We got tomatoes, squash, zucchini, cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, jalapenos, which we didn't talk about, a variety of hot peppers, cantaloupes, watermelons. Guys, this is absolutely incredible. Like, what can come out of your backyard? I just really want to encourage everyone to try a backyard garden. Like, let us know what is stopping you if you haven't done it yet. Join this community. We will help you through it. The way you can do so is by hitting that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you'll get updated on all of our garden tutorials and other videos we put out. Until next time, become a plant person.